Peace, peace. Welcome to the show. This right here is Humble Beginnings, and this right here is another episode of Is It Disrespectful? I got my man Kev C with me from Kev's Perspective. What's up, man? What's going on with you?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling great, man. Trying to get down to this disrespect today. You know what I'm saying? I feel like an interesting topic, man. I'm glad you called me on it.
Oh yeah, man. So you know how you always say on your show, man, the nitty gritty, man. So what we
Getting
gonna
down to
do
it.
is we gonna get down to that, man. We gonna do a deep dive on this because we've been seeing it and we've been hearing it a lot, man. Of people always saying, "I don't need a man. I don't need you. I don't need a man. I don't need you." So we just gonna deep dive into it, like try to understand, like what is it that she really saying? Why are you saying it? All that good stuff, man. We're gonna definitely dive into it.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just go ahead and start off with the question, man. Is it disrespectful for a woman to tell you, I don't need you? What you think, man?
Oh, man. See, here's the thing about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I say, is it disrespectful? I don't think it's disrespectful. I just think it's unnecessary. It's like,
Okay.
why do you feel the need to have to say it? Like, what do you really get out of saying it or feeling like you need to stand on saying this to that guy? Like, it does him no good. Like, on my video, right, I was talking about it, and I'm like, yo, why does she feel like she have to say it? Like, I get the mentality of it, but who told you that is something that you need to say? So I don't feel like it's disrespectful. It's just unnecessary. I don't. It does him no good. It don't do you no good either, at all. Like, it don't do your relationship no good to tell anybody, whether it's a relationship, a romantic relationship, business relationship, co-work. It don't matter. If you tell somebody you don't need them, it don't do your relationship any good at all.
Personally, I think it is a little bit disrespectful, and I think it's disrespectful because I think that with any type of relationship, and I know we're using it in the concept of coupleship, but I think like in any relationship, to outwardly tell someone you don't need them will definitely trigger or put them in a certain mindset that'll make them be like, damn, like, what is my worth to you, or what is my value to you? Because when you just say I don't need you, it's almost like telling the person they're worthless. Even though you're not saying those words exactly, it's pretty much like telling them that. What you think about that?
Well, here's the thing about it. They soothed it over by the other part of it. I don't need you, but I want you. To make it seem as though it's not disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? In that sense. So it's kind of like it kind of soothes it over to make you feel like you still need it, even though they don't need you.
I agree with that. So when we deep diving in this, right? We're gonna let's address this whole concept. When you hear it, what do we feel that they're actually trying to say? Like, what are the women really saying when they say I don't need you?
I don't need you for my livelihood and my survival in life. I don't need you for, being able to eat, sleep, take care of myself, take care of my needs, my basic needs, and get through life. I don't need you to be here just so I can function in life. It's like, I get that.
Yeah,
but my thing is, why do you feel like someone sees you as that helpless that you couldn't do that for yourself? No way. It's like, it's not like no man looks at you and say, you know what, she might die if I don't take care of her, yo. I might need to come over and take care and give her some need. Like, I don't think no guys look at a woman like that. So it's like, why? It's like, I get it, but I get the stance of it, but like I said, it's still unnecessary. It's like,
you think
a stray dog.
You think that comes from like, you know how we always had these conversations, like traditional woman, modern woman? Because you think that they bring that from that whole traditional woman mindset, like that woman in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, like that woman who couldn't have those certain jobs and they pretty much had to depend on the man pretty much almost for their livelihood. You think that kind of still stems from that era right there? Like when they think about needing a man, they're thinking about that era. like, no, when I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that, I had to deal with you and your bullshit or whatever they have, whatever they trying to point out. That's so-called, the issue with the man. Do you think that comes from that era of that?
I think it comes from it, but I think it comes from a misunderstanding of it. Like even them back then, their dependency wasn't on survival. It's not like they were around homeless until a man came and picked them up. It's like, they needed each other for the building of a family and the structure of a family and society. But it's like I think it comes from that. But the way that the modern women are talking about it now, it makes it seem as though, I don't need you to live. I'm like, no, where you get that from?
So, so CT getting it started with us early, right? And we're not going to we're going to address this in our deep dive. But CT said, if you want a woman to need you, what would she need you for? I'm only saying it now, just so we keep it in our mind. But we're gonna address that. We're gonna get into it.
Definitely, we're gonna talk about what an actual need is.
Yeah, and that's why I said we're gonna get into it. But we're gonna just give us a second. We working. So when I hear it, right. When I hear them say it, I get it. Because it's just like how you said, we understand that. No, but who told you that your livelihood was what we was trying to control or try to have? You know what I'm saying? Possession of. Like, who said this? So it's like I get it. Even when like the video you played in your the clip you played in your video, I was like, okay, I understand what she's saying. The only problem is why you feel the need to say it. See, men feel the exact same way. We understand it. The difference is men don't take the stance on it. Like, we know, like, yo, I don't need you. But we don't make it a point to say, I don't need you. What I need you for? We don't need, like, women make a stance out of it. Like, yo, okay, we get it. I know you don't need me according to that literacy of survival side. We get it. But then we got to break it down. So let's walk through it. Let's talk about wants first, because it's a little easier. When somebody wants something, because you broke it, you did it in your video. You did good. You did good. You went off the definition. What is that want again, Kev? I'm gonna let you do it because you did it. You did
let me for the people that's watching, this is a reference to a video I made about not, a woman saying, I don't need you, I want you. So in the video, I talked about wants and needs. I think people confuse wants and needs a lot. So a want is just a desire for something. You desire it. You see it as something that you want to acquire. And once you get it, you got it. Right? That's a want. A want is just a desire for something. A need is a want that you have to continuously have consistently in order for something to function or in order to satisfy or give a level of satisfaction. So when a woman says, I don't need you, I just want you, right? And she said, I don't need you, but I want your love. I want your honesty. I want your loyalty. I want all this other stuff. Those are still needs, because you have to continuously have those in order for your relationship to work. So if you have to continuously have something, then you need it. That's my breakdown of it.
So I agree. And one of the things, like how you just said, what people might not realize is that want and needs, that the nuance of them is, them shits is fucking close.
Yeah,
so for the women who might not know, or they might put the need on more of a severity side, this is more for you. The only thing that separates a need or a want, by definition, a need is something that you chose to deem as a requirement, or how you said in your video, a standard.
Yeah.
Or like how the definition also says too, or an obligation. The moment, now let's get it understood. They're all wants. Because it's not as severe. Like, it's different when we talk about survival, right? Like, we need oxygen to survive. Like, we need it. This is not a I want it, but I could possibly find another way. No, we need oxygen. And I think that's the extremity that women are placing it. They're taking it automatically to a survival mode, but it's not survival. So we're not going to that level of an extreme with it. So all we're dealing with is wants. But the moment within your life that you choose to say, this is a requirement for me. I have to have whatever this is. This is a standard for me. I have to have whatever this is, or this person is now obligated to do something. That's when your want transfers into a need.
Right.
But it's still a want. But the moment you deem it as one of those things, it now becomes a need. So at the same time, when a woman says, I don't need you, I can believe it to a degree. Because I say, okay, well, you don't need it. So what that's telling me is, okay, you're not placing this as a requirement yet or obligation. So, okay, you still want them. But then it goes back to what you said. The moment that you have it and then you continually want it, like say, like, we'll do it like this. You are some women who feel they need words of affirmation, right? That you can tell your baby you beautiful, you this, you that. And we know, I ain't gonna say she shouldn't need it, because some people are they need that validation. So
some of them need it.
That's why I didn't want to say it the way I was going to say it. I was like, well, there are a lot of women who they need that validation. It is required because everything is wrapped up in it. They're so insecure about themselves. You have to keep validating them for them to fucking function. So when we take that and we say, okay, words of affirmation, right? So it's not something we'll just deal with directly. You don't need it. But of course, there are women who say, no, you have to tell me I'm beautiful. You have to do this for me. You have to do that. Now, people will say, well, that's like, we talk about affirmation. So we're going to flip it. We're going to say the concept of paying the bills, the whole provision, finance type of a thing, right? So women are, modern time. They're able to have these jobs. They got their education because they got their education. At least that's what I keep hearing. They got their education and, they super smart. They're able to work these jobs. They're able to get these high paying gigs. Some people are saying that women are making way more than men. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't looked it up, but some people are saying that, women are making more. Some women, black women.
Black women more so.
They're saying black women are making more. I don't know. Haven't looked it up. I'm going to just roll with the concept. So let's say black women are making more. Okay, boom, you're making more. So then you get with a man. You don't need them, according to you. But then you'll say, well, I need you to pay at least the rent, and I'll take care of like lights, water, whatever may happen. But it's like, well, damn, if you didn't need them, why you didn't go into that? Go ahead, say it again.
I'm saying, why is he paying the rent?
That's what I was about to get into. Like, if you don't need them, then why not say, okay, you got the rent and don't let them touch it? Because you don't need him. He's just there for what? I guess what? Your sexual pleasure?
Yeah, if you don't need him, then why do you delegate him to a need? Because you need your rent paid. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, when a lot of times when I hear I don't need you, I want you, sometimes I hear that as, let's just keep it simple. You just want sex, right? I don't need you. I need you here for company. I need you here for sex, whatever. Cool. But once you go into wanting it again and again and again, then you want it one night and another night and another night. Oh, that's a need now.
What do you think about this right? She's saying, when I read it, let me see if you understand it. She said, needing a man in general is different from your needs requirements within a relationship. You understand that?
No, because how do you have the relationship without? I mean, your requirements within the relationship would be dependent upon what you need from him.
Okay. So the reason why I told you to hear it and see if you understood it, because that's the exact thought that came to my mind when I read that just now too. CT, I'm gonna need you to do a little better of your breakdown on that. Because when I read that too, I initially thought that, but I was like, well, I don't want to jump the gun because maybe Kev might have heard something I didn't hear. But I see Kev took it the same way I took it. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, your requirements in a relationship is always going to be dependent upon the other person anyway, because
it's a relationship.
It's a relationship. It's a relationship.
Because if it's predicated upon you as an individual, then we don't have to talk relationship. We're just talking about you as an individual. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about when y'all come together. So a requirement of a relationship would then now us talking about the needs, because you use the word requirement. Needs, and you said it, needs/requirements of that. So we have to talk about that. I want to ask you, so because you said something I thought was funny, and you elaborated. You was like, I want you to dive into this concept and just like kind of address women with this. When you was like, why would someone put forth effort into something that they feel they don't need? Dive more into that, man. I thought it was funny when you heard it because I was like, duh. Now, it was like one of them moments like, duh. But I want you to dive into it, man, because I think you did a good job, man.
Yeah, I mean, why would you, like I said in the video, like, why would you go to a job just to tell the job that you don't need the job, right? I got another job. I got my own means of income, this, that, and the third. I don't really need this job. Then why did you get up, get dressed, eat breakfast, drive to work, clock in? Why are you putting in all this effort for something you don't need? Why do you care if you say you don't need the man? Then why are you texting him so much? Why are you calling him so much? Why are you getting up to go out on dates with him? Why are you like, what is all this effort for something you don't need? It don't make sense to me.
So, but could it be though? Because you spun it right back too, and you brought up the example about the people waiting in line.
Yeah.
For the stuff. Yeah. Could it be like initially when the person goes into putting effort in? Could it be initially though predicated upon just a high want?
Yeah, I would say so. It can be it can go initially into a high want. I mean, because people can get, can get the energy and the inspiration or whatever that's not the actual word I want to use, but they can get that desire to want something so much that they put in effort to get what they want. But at the same time, like we're saying, once you got what you want and you continue to want it, why are you still putting in effort for what you don't need? I can see, like, if I get up and do something that I wanted to do, after I've done it, it's over. I'm not going to continue to put in effort for it again and again and then say it's not a need. Well, why are you putting in all this effort for it? that's where the effort part comes in for me. Why are you putting in all this effort for something you say you don't need? If I have a house, if I didn't need a house, why am I going to work every day to pay for a house I don't need? So that's more so what I was talking about as far as effort.
CT said that men want to be needed so bad. Plenty men say they don't need women, including you, KJ.
Call out.
I love it.
Get into it.
So I do say this. And I say this because at the same time, we're dealing with how we keep breaking it down, right? In my life right now, first of all, men and women, we don't play the same role. So as a man, any woman I get with, who's going to, like, what is she going to actually do that's going to become a need, right? I don't need a woman's companionship. One, I'm a person who likes solitude. I also think that women are horrible people to converse with. I say this all the time. I don't think women are good conversationalists. I think and I hate to do this, but outside of saying sex, I don't feel that there is more so of a need for any. But then when we're talking about women indirectly, I don't feel that you have to deal with that one woman. So if we were to talk about a woman specifically or dive into say that woman about do I need her? No. And even when it comes to sex, you don't need that neither. You know what I'm saying? Masturbation is always full effect.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when I say don't need, no, I don't need. I don't even think it because matter of fact, when we talk relationships, and I've said this on the Something to Say podcast, and when we go through it too, when we did the other, not the last show, but the show before about the Why Are We Single? And I literally said that I don't even want, so we ain't gonna talk about me. I don't even want a wife at the moment. I've been married already. I don't even want that. I don't even want a woman in my space, right? I said the only thing I want is for someone who's willing to kick it with me, and you just got somebody who you can always throw stuff, bounce back off of it as you move through time. But this is the key. I don't actually need the woman for that because I have daughters. So if you're talking about the energy that's given off, I can share a level of energy of that moving through time also with my daughter because it's not about sex now. Because that's the only placement that I would put on women anyway. And I say this all the time. People might get offended, but I was like, what do women really offer up other than sex? What are you going to bring for me? Because I think it's different when we're talking about men and women. Because if I get with a woman, I'm not telling you got to pay bills. I ain't telling you got to do it. Because when I was married the first time, guess who did it? Me. I allowed my wife not to work. I took her everything. So what did I need her for? Also, if I get with a woman today, I don't need you. I have children. I have several baby mothers. I have kids. I don't need you to have kids. I don't need you to do what do I need you for? I have my family already. So with me, it's a little different than when you start saying it because I don't need anything repetitive from you. And even when it comes to sex, I'm a head dude anyway. I don't give a fuck about your vagina. Let's keep this shit a buck. My nigga Pastor Troy said it best. Why fucking sweat when sucking dick is the same effect? I don't even need the pussy. I'd rather get some head. I would take head before pussy any day. So what do I need?
I think that the vast majority of people wouldn't be along or aligned with that because that's not necessarily their intentions of dating or getting relationships with people. So I think that most people go in already, they have needs. They say they don't, but they do. And it's like, because the thing comes in when you start to have expectations of someone, you need them.
Yes.
You can say, I don't want you, I don't need you for this, but I only want you for this. Well, don't get, like I said in my video, don't get mad when they give you the bare minimum of anything because you shouldn't put no expectations on them now. If they give you the bare minimum of what you want from them, you can't be upset because now you're looking at that as a need.
And even when it comes to that, anybody who ever heard me talk, I don't even come with expectations for women no more. I used to, but I don't even do that. I don't want you to do nothing. And matter of fact, CT, I've chopped it up with plenty of time. I always say, listen, I don't want anything from anybody. Like my friendships are like that. Like, dude, I'm not wanting anything from you. Like, I don't like this is the want. Like, I ain't wanting nothing from you. I ain't trying to take nothing from nobody. Because I'm a person of solitude anyway. Like, I like to stay to myself anyway. And even when it comes to the concept of parenting, I, as a man, know my job as a leader. I don't need a female there. My kids got their mothers. I don't need to put a woman model here. I'm going to do my goddamn job and I'm going to help raise the children. You get what I'm saying? I know when it comes as far as information can be taught the same whether it's man or woman. Even though people say things like a woman can't raise a man or a man can't raise a woman to be a woman. As far as information, it can be done. The only problem you will run into even with that is if you're dealing with someone who says, I only can learn if I can relate to a person. Because I know people like that. I know people who say, well, I can't learn from you if I cannot relate. So if you get a young boy who has to be able to relate to learn, then he won't have to put a male around him because he can't relate to the woman. If you get a young woman who feel I cannot relate to my father, that I need a woman, then she will need it. But if you get someone who's actually like me, which I take my information from everywhere, because single parent household, I take the information is the exact same from my mother that what my father would have gave me. It's no different. Literally no different. The only problem you run into is if you believe that I have to be able to relate to learn. And I know people like this. What you think about that,
Kev? That last part, relate to learn. So dive in that just a little bit more so I can give I guess an answer on that.
So I've had these conversations with multiple people. And there are people, right, who feel like if I can't relate, like it's the same way when people say, if you never been through it, then you can't teach me nothing, right? So they're looking for a relation or somewhere that aligns with them of something they can grasp on to feel why they would even take information from you. So for example, like if we talking about, like I said, with the children, there are, because I met guys who honestly say it. Like they say, listen, no, that woman can't teach me nothing because she's not a man. All you're literally saying is that you can't relate to her because she's not a man. That it takes a man, someone you can relate to because you a man trying to, well, I guess you're a male trying to be a man, or you're already a man and feel like he can teach you, however you want to put it. That you just can't take anything from. You automatically set a limitation upon those teachings because that person cannot do this. But as far as information goes, a woman can, your mother can literally give you the exact same information that your father would give you as far as information is concerned. So when most people are teaching, what are they teaching? Information. That's all they're giving you is information. And then you take the information and then you do whatever you do with the information to get wherever it is that you're trying to get or be whatever it is you're trying to be or whatever have you. But the teaching part of it is exactly the same. So when people say a woman can't teach a man to be a man, that's actually not even true. In literacy, it's not. The only way it wouldn't be true is if that person feels he has to relate. But that doesn't mean she can't teach it. That means you set the limitation of I'm not going to learn from you because I can't relate. So that's what I mean when I say that.
I mean, I agree. Like a woman can teach a man. See, I think when people say that, I think it's like, it ain't really that she can't teach a man. It's that she can't show how to apply it as a man. So it's like, okay, if you're talking about application, I can understand because she's never going to be able to apply it the way a man would. So I can understand where that would come from. And as far as teaching and information, yes, I do agree with what you said on that. Because, information, like the teaching is just the information. Now, if you're talking about going into experience and application, then I can see where that discrepancy might come in and say, you know what, she can't teach me this because she don't have the same tools or the same thought process or whatever. Okay, I get it.
If it's one of those women.
If
it's one of those women. Because say if you got a mama who's super logical.
Yeah.
Then her application wouldn't be no different than the man. Now you would have your placement would have to be of experience, which would then tie back into relativity.
Right. It all ties back into relativity.
Yeah, that's what, and that's what I mean when I say that. It's like no, it can be done as far as information. It's just only people who set their limitations wherever they set their limitations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's how it works. So, CT, I appreciate you.
And that's how it works. CT said a lot, but
she was saying a lot as I was talking, but
but it was something else that you was gonna go into. I think we were talking about a pre-show. I know it was another question you had.
Oh man. Yeah, she threw me. She had me ready to talk about myself. I always say this. Me and my mom was just having this conversation earlier. I like to use myself as an example. So I love when people use me because I would love to use me. See, I don't jump and start with me because I don't want to be seeming like I'm trying to make it about me. But I love when people use me because I be wanting to use me anyway. I be like, yo, I really want to use me in this scenario, but I don't want to seem so conceited or just like I want to talk about me the whole time. But I love when people be like, yo, what about you? I be like, I'm so glad you asked about me because that's what I wanted to talk about anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, damn, CT, you threw me, man. You had me so geared up, had me ready to go in and talk about me. I was like, well, fuck it, let's just go in and talk about me.
I mean, she asked the question, what would a woman need a man for, right? So,
yeah,
I think that's in response to kind of like what you were just saying, as far as you not needing a woman for X, Y, and Z. So,
I'll let you go ahead. Go
ahead.
So, when we talk about the roles of parenting, right? When it comes to discipline, a lot of women need these men because there's a lot of women who are lackadaisic with their way of approach. I see a lot of women when kids get to cutting up, they'll sit there and repeat themselves over and over. It take that man to be like, you know what? Oh, I said it once. Let me get in that ass. I'm gonna show you. Because men tend to set the structure. A lot of women today, as independent minded as they are, don't have a good foundation of setting structure. But you know why they don't have a good sense of setting structure? Because women ain't that good at fucking leading. They're not. So a lot of women need men for leadership. That's why it's so chaotic the way that it is. See, when it comes to feminism, if women had the appropriate leader to show them how to apply their feminism in the right way, they would know how to literally get and do all the things that they're doing now, but in a feminine manner. They wouldn't have to tap into masculinity. The reason why women are tapping into masculinity, because they don't even know how to use femininity. So clearly you need a man because you even got to resort to what men do to get points across. You want to talk and get braggadocious and throw the ego around the same way as a man. It's funny how women can say they don't need a man, but in order to so-called get respect, what you got to act like? A man. But you don't need a man though. But your whole imagery to even be heard, you got to get manly. Come on.
Well, man. my thing is, you know, as far as not needing a man, I can understand if you don't need a man. Fine, cool. You say you don't need a man, fine. The problem comes with me when you want a relationship. And I'm like, well, if you don't need a man, then how you plan on having a relationship? See, the difference is if you say you don't need a woman, you don't want a relationship either. You just say you don't want I don't want a relationship, I don't want marriage, I don't want none of that. But a lot of women who say they don't need a man want relationships. So it's like, how are you? It contradicts everything.
Thank you.
It contradicts all of it. How are you going to have a relationship if you don't need them? And then if you tell somebody you don't need them, right? I don't need you. I just want you here. I hear women say that. I don't need you. I just want your company. I want you here. All right. Go to work. Go to work tomorrow. And then ask your supervisor, whoever you work for, ask them if they need you. And if they say no, I just need you here for lunch break. I just want your company. I just want you here just to keep us company during lunch break, to laugh and joke. I don't really need you for nothing. How long are you gonna have that job? Let me ask you that. How long are you gonna have that job? Now, if that was the expectation, your expectation was to be like, well, I want this. No, go ahead.
They won't have it long because they're going to be triggered by the fact that they don't need them. Because even when people go to work, I hear that all the time, even at work, even when I'm at the job. Everybody love to talk about the same thing, how they don't need, but anytime the boss, supervisor, whatever may have you, make them feel like they're unwanted and they're not so-called getting the so-called respect or certain things tended to them, they feel away. They get into complaining, they get into all these other stuff because, they feel like those things should be requirements, which means they are needs, which means you do need them. You just don't like using the word need because we put such an extremity on the need. We think survival when we say need.
I would much rather she say, I don't need you right now. My life is has an autonomy to it, right? I don't really need you right now. But once you get to a point where you lonely, once you get to a point where you ain't got thirsty yet. That's all. Your body still needs water. You just ain't thirsty right now. But you
Yeah,
still need it. Like you can say you can drink your water and say I don't need water no more. But you always going to need the water. You just ain't need it right now cuz you didn't quench your thirst. You good. So, I'm like once you start to ask, I want a companion, I want a partner, I want a relationship, I want somebody to do this and that. It's like you need somebody now.
It's also like when you get, and I ain't gonna go too far onto this, but it's one of them things that I personally always thought, I just never choose to say it. Like when a woman chooses to say she's going to be a lesbian, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going towards women, but yet you still get your dildos and all this other stuff like that. You don't want a real dick, but you rather a fake dick. You still want to be pleasured by a intercourse type of a thing. You just don't want the so-called man. But you still got to go. You still take those avenues. Because to me, I don't believe a woman who likes to use dildos is a woman who's really a true lesbian. Personally, I don't. Because
I never even thought about
clearly you like to be penetrated to a degree. So it's very difficult for you to tell me you a pure lesbian, but you got that big ass dildo that you still keep inserting with you. Well, or you have to explain to me.
At that point,
are we saying that your lesbianhood?
At that point, are we saying that women are saying that they don't need a man, they just need masculinity?
But how you gonna get the masculinity without the men?
I don't know.
I mean, like, how you gonna get the masculinity without the men? Yeah. Like, even if someone was to say that, like, I don't need the man, but I want the masculinity. But how are you going to get that without him, though?
Without a man.
But I could then see, I can hear a woman saying today, because we're talking modern times, that they are masculine in themselves. And don't get it twisted, right? I guess we're gonna have to point out what it is that you're pointing out as masculine. But as far as estrogen and testosterone, we both come with these things. You know what I'm saying? But even with women, most women couldn't be gay because most women can't even deal with most women. So it's like you do want that essence of a man. Most of them need the essence of a man. They might. But nowadays, because women have access to so much of these other stuff, their ego is through the roof. Now, matter of fact, me and CT was chopping it up the other night. And I was saying that we were talking about the reason of why people are clashing. And I kept saying that one of the reasons why men and women are clashing so much is because of the way women are egotistical today. And she kept saying that it was okay for men back in the day to exude or lead with this, masculinity and all this other stuff like this and talk the way that they talk and however it worked. And I was like, it worked because that construction of a system that was there mean that woman had to shut the fuck up. So it created a balance because we weren't going to do too much clashing because your place was to shut the fuck up. See, now y'all done got so outspoken. And now we doing this empowerment that now you don't want to shut the fuck up. So now the women when they approach it and they go into it, it's like, yo, of course we're going to clash here because any alpha man who crosses another alpha man, you know what's going to happen? They're going to bump heads because those things don't typically exist too much around each other. That's why when we talk about alpha and we really dive into the history of these titles that we like to use, an alpha's job in ancient Greece was to actually groom betas, not to make other alphas. Because it wasn't for a bunch of alphas. It's never, because we're talking about times when we're talking about kingdoms and stuff like that. You weren't raising a bunch of kings. No. You was a king and you brought your offspring up as king. The rest of these niggas is peasants. Let's not get this confused. But we like to talk today like, oh, we just supposed to be a bunch of kings and gods, existing a bunch of kings and gods. No, that's not how it even supposed to be. Just like the poverty in America, it's supposed to be a smaller class, more wealthy, and the majority are supposed to live in poverty. It's the same exact fucking thing. A small amount of niggas are alphas, the rest of you niggas are betas. But that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be, though.
Hey, how you feel? How you
What you
feel?
think,
When a woman,
Kev? Am
how
I
you
right?
feel? How you feel when a woman say that she's an alpha female? She tell you she's an alpha female
What you say that?
or alpha woman.
If she's saying it or somebody
Yeah,
else
yeah,
giving
yeah.
her
If
credit?
she say I'm an alpha female, I'm an alpha woman.
If she's saying it, it sounds to me the same as when I hear people start throwing kings and queens around. I think it's like it seems like a very fictional type of a setup. Like most titles of honor, typically people give them to you. It's just like I'm in the martial arts world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though I am a teacher or the instructor, it's not for me to deem myself as sensei. My students deem me as sensei. I don't deem myself as sensei. You can't deem yourself as this. You get what I'm saying? So when I hear people start deeming themselves as these roles, it's like you're a self-proclaimed alpha female.
Yeah.
But are you actually recognized amongst men as an alpha? Because if you're going to use the term alpha, that means the men have to recognize you as this, not the women.
Right.
Understand this. It's not for the women to recognize you, because I know women like to say, I know a woman at work. She like to bash men a lot. So she gets into this whole thing about men shouldn't be telling women, certain stuff. But at the end of the day, when we're talking about this alpha stuff, that woman is not to deem herself as that. The men would have to recognize you as alpha, not the woman.
Right. I mean, that's the
even
reputation.
To exist, yes. So even to exist is that, guess what you still need? You still need men's approval. Can't even go nowhere without the men's approval.
Yeah. I mean, because like we just talking about the kings and queens and stuff, people self-proclaim themselves a lot. But you can self-proclaim yourself anything, but your reputation is going to proclaim what you really are. Oh, man.
Oh, Matty B in the building. Matty B said facts, man. He was like, yo, women want to be men now. There's no balance. And that was the point that I was alluding to, that even for women to even carry out this so-called role that they claiming to have, they got to try to be men to do it. They're not doing it in a feminine manner. Like, they're not becoming these boss bitches by being feminine. They got to become a boss bitch by tapping into manhood, by tapping into these traits. You ain't doing it upon what y'all bring. And personally, I hate to do it, but I'm gonna do it. Fuck it.
Hey, it's
when we always the only credibility they give women is the whole concept of nurturing. But if you look at what the fuck nurturing is, providing, protection, caring, all these things is nurturing. So women don't even get the credit of being you can't even say she's a nurturer by nature, because men and women are both nurturers by nature. Protection is nurturing. Education is nurturing. Like, that whole thing of building and teaching and educating and building and these are nurturing things. So it's all nurturing. So even when people be trying to highlight women and say, well, they're nurturing. Nigga, men are nurturing too. Actually, more damn nurturing than the women, except for the ones who just aren't there. The only ones who's not nurturing is the person who's just not there. But if you're there, guess what? You are the fucking nurturer. Sorry, hate to bust motherfuckers' bubbles, but guess what? Equally as nurturing, and sometimes in some elements even more, especially if you're the so-called custodial parent or have that heavy level of involvement. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of women go into saying they don't need a man, just even from that. I'm the custodial parent. I'm the head of household. I'm the main provider. I'm the main protector. So I don't really need anything because I'm already in that role. But at the same time, I always say,
and that's fair.
Keep going back. Yeah, and I do. It is fair. I can understand it.
It's fair.
But it just, I always keep going back to, if you say you want a relationship, you still need a man.
Yeah, because we all gotta run this concept of submission. Like
If you if you
I'm
mind
on the.
if you don't mind being by yourself for the rest of your life, hey, good. You don't need nobody. You don't need nobody at that point. It's you.
Yep.
So you have no
Yeah.
expectations of nobody else. So if you are okay, if you can sit there and say that you are okay with being by yourself for the rest of your life, then you don't need a man. You don't need nobody. But if you start to yearn and desire a relationship and want a consistent relationship, you're gonna need somebody.
CT said that men typically lead with their money and what they got and think that's all they need for women to want to be with them. That's where the I don't need a man falls.
Men don't typically lead with their money. They
I mean, I
typically
get it.
lead with what they think women desire.
Well, that is what they desire, because when you hear these things of, like, like the passing of Kevin Samuels and things of that nature, women are leading with what men can provide and what men can do. So so when we're talking about the market and what people are looking for, because Kevin always kept telling them, we got to aim for the market. So if we trying to talk to women, we got to understand what women are looking for. We talk like in the same way for women. If you're trying to talk about the men, you got to understand what the men are looking for, what the men are actually want. So women are saying that's what they want. They want the money. They want the money. They want the money. So what do you think men are going to do? They're going to lead with money because women are saying that they want the money. Most women want the money.
Even if they want it and take it.
They want it and they're going to take it. So it's not like men are leading with something that doesn't exist. They need it too.
Yeah, and need it.
So it's like, yo, you can't make it seem like we far-fetched with this thing now. Men understand the value more than the women do. Because men will be like, well, you know what? She says she need the money. Okay, well, I know I got to have the money. It's just that simple. But if you tell a woman, well, I need you to be such and such, or this and this and that, why I gotta be this? Why all of this? Why all that? So you rather challenge what the customer want. And they always taught y'all the customer's always right. I guess some people never worked in sales. But they always taught y'all that the customer was always right.
I mean, you can say men typically lead with money, but the same way with women typically lead with attraction and sex. Because they know that's what men want.
Like these social medias, your Instagrams, your Snapchats, and all of that, you will say you don't want a man to approach you as far as sex, but then you lead literally with sex.
All the time.
You showing off your body, them pictures in front of that mirror with your ass poke out and you taking it in the camera. You lead with this. But I'm supposed to act like the ass ain't there, even though you want to sell me ass. You trying to sell me ass, but I'm supposed to not buy ass. Come on, man. So, see, the thing is, you want men to be as fake as the women are. Men just embrace what is there.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy out here. It is crazy out here.
All right, Kev. So this is a disrespectful, man. Before we get out of here, we always want to lead the people with a message. So for the women, just a quick little message for those women who say they don't need a man. What you think, man? You just leave them with a little quick message. Just words of how to operate. You know how to do this thing.
If you want a healthy relationship with somebody, you need them. That's the only message I really have. If you have an expectation of wanting a healthy relationship with someone, then you need them. It's not really about making them. It's not even really just about making them feel needed, because you can be fake at making somebody feel some type of way, just from what you feel they need. They own self-assurance, but don't say I don't need you and expect to have a great relationship with them. That's what I'm leaving with.
So I
don't need a man stuff is just self-assurance. It's for your own ego.
I will piggyback off that. I definitely think I think that's dangerous to tell anybody. Even if we ain't even got to be talking about coupleship, that's dangerous to tell anybody directly you don't need them, because whether you don't want people to mind to go here or you don't want it or whether or not, when you tell somebody directly you don't need them, that literally puts them in a place of where's their value. And most people want to be valued. So if most people want to be valued, the concept of telling somebody I don't need you literally does the opposite. It literally will take them into a realm of feeling like, where do my value lie and where is that? So I would just encourage women, stop taking a stance. We all know the same thing. We know in the literacy and when it comes to survival, we don't need each other that because we have conditioned the world now to where you have everything the same way everybody else has everything. So no, we know you don't need men for survival to that degree. We get it. We understand it. We all on the same page. But I will caution women, do not take the stance so boldly, because when you take the stance so boldly, you got to think. And I know women don't typically care about men's feelings. I do know this too. But my thing would be, women, please start caring about these men's feelings. I promise you, the last thing y'all want is a very emotional man who goes dumb out on your ass. I promise you, you don't want that. So you will learn to appreciate the logic that typically rolls behind men. So, Kev, man, tell the people where to find you, what you got coming up, man, before we get up out of here, man.
Hey, man, you see the name right there, Kev's Perspective. Kevin's Perspective is the YouTube page. You see the titles. I get down to the nitty gritty, man. We talking about a lot of stuff on there, man. Every week it's a new video dropping. Got the audio book, chapter 1 of the audio book dropping tomorrow. So check that out on the YouTube page, Vocal Visions page. That's building up as well. So that's where I'll be at, man. That's where I'll be at. I'll be on Instagram too, at Kevin Clemens __.
Yeah. All right, y'all know me, man. This right here, I am Mr. Humble Beginnings. You know what I'm saying? I'm KJ. Y'all know we got some panel conversations coming up in the future. Got more Is It Disrespectful? I also got a new segment that I'm going to bring to the people. That, you know what I'm saying, I got Humble Purpose. And, it's going to be a little different. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to dive into a little more deeper probably on my next show. Show y'all what's coming with that. But I got another segment that's coming. It's called Humble Purpose. And it's going to be... it's going to tap into a little bit more of what a lot of people like to hear from me, man. Like, a lot of people, when I do these shows, man, I'm diving and I'm talking to people like, Kev, man, you got a good teacher sense, man. Why you don't be getting there and just teaching on their ass? You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna go ahead and give a lot of people what they want. Also, with Humble Purpose, you're gonna see a lot more people who come up as far as like interviews and things of that nature. We're gonna actually start talking to people and letting you hear what real purpose sound like and why people live and operate in their life because of their purpose and all these other stuff like that. So, like I said, I got another segment coming. It's gonna be great. Got plenty of good work coming for the people. Man. We're gonna feed the people what it is. Vocal Visions is the camp. We definitely rocking. Hey, man, if you want to get someplace and be someplace, man, you might want to fuck with us, man. Cause we moving, we building, we working. We gonna establish some things, man. You might want to get on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Before we got to start punishing y'all ass with some prices, because you know how shit work. Just like the crypto game, you might want to get into it when things is on the low. Because when shit get right, nigga, we gonna start have to punish y'all motherfucking ass with some shit. I'm just saying.
Man.
All I'm saying, you might want to fuck with us before shit get a little hectic.
Speak it, man.
Yeah, you might want to fuck with us before shit get a little hectic.
Air horn. I need an air horn right now. That's what I need. An air horn. That's what I need to get my sound.
I'm just saying, you might want to fuck with us. But you know what I'm saying? This right here is, it's the segment of Is It Disrespectful? Me and Mr. Kev C, Kevin's Perspective. We are out. We will catch y'all on the next go around. Peace.